Jay Booksbound back here again at, it's become one of our favorite places, someplace upstate. Thank you guys. With my good friend Gabe Geller, and it's starting to be a nip in the air, right?
Oh yeah! Thank you so much to Someplace Upstate again for hosting us.
You did a really great thing. You decided that we're going to try to do stuff that is for beginners.
Mm-hmm.
So the first wine is for beginners, it's nice and chilled, is an Emerald Riesling Chenin Blanc from Carmel, right? And let's look at the first question. How do you correctly use a bartender's corkscrew? Well, first of all, we talked about introductory wines for introductory wine drinkers. So one of the introductory wines is, of course, the Emerald Riesling Chenin Blanc, which is off dry, and of course the Jeunesse, which we're going to have next. But we're using a waiter's corkscrew by Bartender, which is also Bartender Moscato is a starter wine.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing I love about this corkscrew is that it has everything in one compact little device. And
it's like a Swiss knife.
Right, and I like it much better. I despise the wing corkscrew.
Yeah,
but I like the rabbit, the one with the pump, but that's big and bulky. This is really
big,
nice.
and they tend to break all the time.
Yeah, and this one has 4 parts to it.
Yeah.
Right? What looks like a bottle opener, a knife, a coil or a screw itself, and the handle. So we're going to close everything except the knife, and we're going to put the knife. I like to do it. Some people do it under the top lip. I like to do it under the bottom lip.
Me too.
And then you just squeeze it in your thumb, and between your thumb and your forefinger, and you turn it, and look how beautifully that comes off. Okay, so then I close that's a mistake people make is they don't close the knife, and they end up cutting themselves.
That's right.
Make sure you close the knife. That's all you're going to use it for. Then open up what looks like the bottle opener, then open up the screw and put the coil, the tip of the coil into the center and turn. Here's where people make their next mistake. Do not put it in the shaft. Try to see at least a half a coil still visual.
Okay.
The next mistake people make is, right?
Like those horrible corkscrews they give you in some hotels, the hotel room,
right.
where you just have to turn it and then you need to to pull out the cork, and most of the time you're just going to make a mess if you get the cork out.
Right. And this is a great corkscrew a weighted corkscrew because there are several types. This is what they call a 2-step. So it has this little edge and this little edge, and people don't realize that you can actually pivot it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to pivot it, and if you pivot it and put in the first edge, and I'm going to do the opening, but you're going to talk about the wine. Okay. And then what a lot of people do is they grab it like this and push it away from them. Wrong. What you should do is you should pull it towards you, like you're pulling it towards your chin. Okay? So you don't push it away from you, you pull it towards you, and then you go up again, and you see this little edge again, right? Hope you got that. And again, don't push it away from you, pull it towards you, and that way the cork doesn't break. Okay, tell us about the wine.
So, starter wine. So this is a semi-dry white wine from Israel, caramel selected Emerald Riesling Chenin Blanc. So, Emerald Riesling is a different variety than the straight Riesling, also called white Riesling or Johannisberg Riesling. It's a cross. I don't remember exactly what they did originally to create Emerald Riesling, but usually you find them in Israel. It's usually entry-level, semi-dry or semi-sweet white wines, sometimes on their own, sometimes blended, like here with the Chenin Blanc. And what you get is a very fruity, aromatic, delicious, easy drinking
what
wine.
What food would you put with this?
For example, it's a caramel wine. When I see caramel, I cannot but think about Eretz Israel. Of course. So what comes to mind, is perhaps a nice shawarma in a pita with some spicy schug, some harif, and the sweetness of the wine is going to cut through that spiciness, really mix with it very very nicely. And it's nice, with some simple types of food, nothing too sophisticated. What would you drink it with?
I drink this with actually Chinese food. And the reason I would like that is because that spiciness, that slight spiciness that you get in Chinese food, it needs a more lively, little bit sweet, off dry wine to go with it. So that's what
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, now you chose the Jeunesse as a second wine, and people make fun of this, especially guys, think that I make fun of it, and I don't, because this is the first semi-dry wine that's serious. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, as it's Cabernet, you spoke about the first one, so I'm going to give my insight, or what I think is my insight on the second one, which is, this is 100% Cabernet from, I think, Herzog's own estate vineyards in Clarksburg. And what they do is they ferment it out so that it's lower in alcohol, about 12.5%, but they still allow some of the must, the grape juice that is not fermented, to remain, and so it's off dry. Now we're gonna rinse. So if you want to start practicing on how to have a real Cabernet, but you're not ready for completely dry wine yet, chill this well. You get the Cabernet smell. You get the Cabernet smell, plus a little raspberry notes, that fruitiness that comes from that sweetness. More raspberry, not strawberry.
People ask me sometimes, we know what Concord grape juice smells like. Kedem, Concord grape juice, all those Concord grapes that grow actually around here. But people are curious. We know what Cabernet Sauvignon wine tastes or smells like, but what those Cabernet Sauvignon grape juice smells like? And the Jeunesse retains that aroma, and it's that beautiful raspberry, cherry aroma. Now,
Yossi from Washington Heights, who asked that original question about the corkscrew, also wanted to know what's the best way to close it if it's not finished. So you know what my answer always is: finish it. And if you can't finish it, I'm not suggesting that you overdrink, okay? But if you can't finish it on your own, bring someone to the table to finish it with you.
That's right.
Your significant other, your friends and family, your neighbor, for goodness sakes. But if you have to close it, I'm not a big fan of all those gadgets. So I just say, put the cork back in it, finish it in the next day or two, and it'll be fine.
That's exactly what I do. Usually most white wines, and dessert wines in particular, will keep for a while, sometimes weeks, in your fridge. Red wines, especially in the summer, try to finish them quickly, usually within 2-3 days from opening the bottle. Don't stress out about it. Finish it with tomorrow night's dinner or the next night dinner, and enjoy it. Just don't
think about it.
Don't make a big deal out of it.
Don't overthink it. Right?
And what I do? Of course, I taste a lot of wine all the time. And I don't finish the bottle. I mean, I don't want to get drunk. I just want to taste the wine.
Right.
So I have, thank God, a lot of neighbors who like wine, and I just tell them, come pick it up.
And you know what I do when I have wine like that? Because I also, I'm like you very often, not as much as you do it. I use it constantly to cook. Now, there's another question from Charlie in Los Angeles, and he says, I received, and to be frank, we planned this one. You planned this one. I received a bottle of Yatir Forest 2018 as a gift. Is it ready to drink now? How can I tell when I should open it or drink a wine? How can I tell when I should open or drink a wine? Any wine. But specifically, you want to know about the Yatir. Should we open it?
Let's open it.
All right. This is a rarity because this is already sold out.
Yeah. So we got the 2018, 2019 is now the new vintage on the market. So 2018 is still quite young, it's only 4 years ago. And that's a wine that sits in the barrel for a little while. So it's a very young wine, and it's the flagship wine of Yatir Winery in Eretz Israel, one of the top boutique wineries. They make some of the best wines. And this is a wine that, fine wine connoisseurs people who have a cellar, wine cellar in their house or a wine fridge. They like to put away this bottle for years and open it further down the line for a special occasion, a bar mitzvah, a wedding, or something like that. And this question, I totally understand it, because I get that question all the time. I got that bottle as a gift, the Yati Forest, or whichever other wine it is, the Herzog Chalk Hill, or the Castel Grand Vin. When is the best time to open it? So there is a simple answer. The simple answer is open it now. Open it for Shabbos. Open it for Yom Tov. And give it some air. Perhaps pour out the glass. Put it on the side, go to shul Friday night, and then when you come back, it will have gotten some air, and we love it.
One of the things, by the way, like I just said before, I don't like gadgets. There's one gadget I love, and it's the cheapest one, and it really works great, and that is an aerator.
Exactly.
Pop an aerator in the top, just right into the bottle, pour it out, it goes glug, 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 and it aerates the wine, to me, I really see it as making a difference.
It does make a difference, of course.
This is 15% alcohol, which is pretty high, which means, it tells me that at harvest, the sugars were higher, the intensity of the richness of the fruit was remarkable, and that it has a long life ahead of it. So even though it's drinking good now, even great, if you want to buy some and put it away, especially the 19, because I think the 18 is sold out, maybe you can find the 18 in the stores. This could last, I would say, at least another 8 to 10 years or more until it starts hitting its primary window.
That's right. And so what is the difference between the Yeti Forest that you're going to open now and the Yeti Forest that you're going to open in 10 years? The flavors are not going to be exactly the same. The fruit notes are going to be a little bit more to the back end. It's going to be perhaps a little bit more earthy, a little bit more spicy, and the tannins are not going to be as astringent. And it's just a slightly different drinking experience, but both are fine. It's a great wine to drink now. It's going to be a fantastic wine to drink in 10 years.
Last question from Eliza in Chicago. Do you have any recommendations for people interested in learning about wine?
So, well, there are many ways, especially nowadays where there's a wealth of information available online. But there are also many books if you are more into something physical. Jay, you're gonna talk about one of those books that you can use. And find it at your public library probably. And there is Wine Folly. That's a great website. Just Google it. It has a lot of information about the different types of grape varieties, the different regions, Bordeaux, California, and so on and so forth. And you get to really have as much knowledge as you'd like to acquire.
And then there's a silly book called Wine for Dummies, which is okay, it's kind of fun. And then we also did this. So WSCT is a well-known international organization. You can take the WSCT 1 or 2, and it'll give you a lot of knowledge, and it'll be a lot of fun. Oh, you know what I also do a lot? I just Google stuff.
Yeah. You can go on Wikipedia. There's so much information online. You can type, what is Cabernet Sauvignon on Google? And you'll find a lot of resources. So
whether you're starting out and you're starting out with a starter wine like Emerald Riesling Chenin from Carmel, or a Jeunesse from Baron Herzog, or you want to just start out. These are 2 good wines to start out. Yatir Farce we spoke about. Have a great winter. I want to wish everybody have a great winter, and we've got a long, cool season ahead of us. So enjoy some good wine when you're holed up at home with somebody special. Okay.
Fine. Enjoy.